Shalom and welcome back to BisellehTorah. Korach is the name of the parsha this week. From every interaction that we are involved in, we should come away richer from the experience. By listening, by reading, by paying attention, everything has something to teach us. Every moment, every person, every encounter. In Pirkei Avot, which is a section of the Mishnah, it talks about argumentation. There is good and there's bad argumentation. It demonstrates both. A good argument is the kind of argument that took place between the great sage teachers, Hillel and Shammai, and their schools, the yeshivas that followed in their aftermath. They argued about exegesis, about interpreting the Bible correctly. They talked about good versus evil, kind and beneficent versus selfish. They argued about everything under the sun. But what is key about their argumentation is that at the end of the day, they celebrated together. They broke bread with one another. They married into each other's families. They celebrated Shabbat together. They had good relationships with one another because they listened and they were willing to say, both of them, one at a time, I'm right, you're wrong, you're right, I'm wrong. The willingness to be able to do that is what determines a good versus bad argument. A bad argument is the kind that we have in this week's parsha, the kind that takes place between Korach and Moses. Korach was Moses' cousin, and he leveled accusations at Moses saying, why you, why not me? Why you the leader? Aren't all Jewish people equal? Aren't we all equivalent? Why shouldn't I be the leader of the Jewish people? Why shouldn't it be us? Why you, Moses? And he leveled all kinds of spurious arguments at Moses with one intent in mind. He wanted to bring down Moses. He wanted to shame him publicly so that he could aggregate more power to himself. Korach's intentions were anything but good. And at the end of the day, when Moses tried every argument against Korach, God said, enough is enough. And he allowed the earth to open up and swallow Korach into the bowels of the land. And the Torah also says something rather curious at the same time. It says, V'chol rechusham. Not only was Korach swallowed up in the earth, but everything that he possessed as well. What does that mean? It's enough for Korach to disappear because he was only trying to destroy and not to build. But what about his possessions? What do they have to do with this? And the rabbis come up with this unique analysis of it by saying what Korach was trying to do was he was trying to get more power, get more wealth, get more prosperity, get more respect. He wanted more and more, and it was such a gaping, yawning hole inside of him that only grew larger with time that it could never possibly be filled. He only wanted more. There was nothing that would sate his appetite for more. And ergo, the earth swallowed up him and his possessions to teach the Jewish people that this is not how you're supposed to live. Yes, it is uniquely Jewish that you were supposed to argue. And this is a good thing. This is a valuable resource that we possess and that we will never relinquish. But remember why we're arguing. We're arguing for the sake of truth, not to get more power or things for ourselves. But arguments for the sake of truth is ultimately what lies at the base of what is quintessentially Jewish. The Chafetz Chaim talks about this as well, and he says, people reduce themselves to epithets. They say nasty things about the other one only to degrade them rather than using two ears to listen instead of just one mouth to talk over somebody else. As I said at the beginning of this Devar, we're supposed to get something from every interaction. We listen, and we may gain a kernel of truth that we did not possess before. And if we do, we come out so much richer. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're right and we're wrong, or vice versa. All it means is that we listen. We may find ourselves utterly validated in the final analysis after entering into an argument with them about truth. We may say, I was right to begin with, but only after listening to their salient arguments and vice versa. That's how we arrive at truth. We don't have to surrender anything except the ability of our ego to obfuscate. And do you know what can possibly come out of this if we were truly to listen to one another and then at the end of the argument shake hands and come away as friends? not only on an individual, but on a macro level as well. Do you know what would occur? Something that humanity has not seen since the inception of time. Do you know what that is? Shalom. It's peace. That's what comes from listening.